Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So in today's video, I'm going to be trying a bunch of new drugstore makeup. A few of these products I have been testing over the course of the last week, but there are several in here that just came and I wanted to get them in this video. So I'm going to go ahead and do a mixture of a review of the ones that I've tried and the first impression of the ones that I have not. But before we get into it, I hope everyone had an amazing holiday and Happy New Year. And can we all just take a deep breath, because it is now 2021. 2020 is behind us, and I think it just shows us what we can get through and how strong we can be collectively and individually in times of real struggle. My intention for 2021 is gratefulness. I think 2020 put what real problems are into perspective, and to just be grateful every day that I have a healthy family, this amazing community that I'm so grateful for. So let me know down in the comments below what your word of the year is. I think it's really helpful to just set the tone for the year with a word that you can continue to go back to and see if you're mapping against that goal. With all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the new drugstore makeup. Okay, so I have two new face products, and one of them I've already talked about and tested extensively, so I'm not going to be applying that one today, and that is the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. I did a short video on this on Instagram, and I also mentioned it in my 2020 favorite makeup, so if that gives you any idea on how I feel about it. This launched with this dual-sided complexion brush as well. This is a total dupe for IT Cosmetics. They're a little bit different, but the best dupe that I've ever seen, and all on its own, it's a fantastic product. Oily skin, dry skin, normal skin, I think this could work on everyone, and I absolutely love the flexibility of their shade range. They've got undertones on their site so that you can say, I'm warm, neutral, or cool undertoned, and you can even use their shade matcher to type in the foundation that you are currently using, and they'll tell you what shade of this to buy. So I used that functionality and got the perfect shade for me. I will link my 2020 favorites video down below if you haven't seen it, if you want an extensive review of this. Definitely check out that video. I went on a little bit of a tangent about it, but a huge thumbs up. And then that launched, like I said, with this brush, definitely a IT Cosmetics situation here. The IT Cosmetics dual-sided brush is one of my absolute favorite brushes. Obviously, it's really expensive. This one I think does a really nice job of blending the product in, this kind of fluffier side. I feel like the side for concealer is just a little bit too small to be functional. There's just not enough bristles, it's not dense enough, but this side is usable. However, after using this for quite a while, I would say I would recommend their e.l.f. Putty Primer brush over this one. I've talked about that brush before. It's what I use to apply their cream blush, and the bristles are a lot more densely packed than they are on this one, and I think it just does a better job of not wasting product and depositing the product exactly where you want it. So if you're looking for a brush to go along with this, I would say skip this one and go with the Putty Primer brush. And then the base product that I am going to be trying today, and this is a first impression, is the new Revlon Colorstay Light Color Foundation. This has 12 adaptable shades. It's $13.99, definitely on the higher end in terms of price point. It claims to boost hydration, provide 12 hours of wear, SPF of 35, and it is infused with concentrated pomegranate. It claims to have a light medium coverage, but also be really long wearing, which I find is very difficult to find. Usually when you find light to medium products, they're more of a glowy or SPF oriented product or moisturizing product that don't claim that long 12-hour wear time. So it's interesting to see something that claims both. So I'm just gonna shake this up. That's what it says to do, is to just shake it up. I got mine in the shade Tawny, which is usually a shade name that works for me, and that is 280. And then it just has like a twist off cap and a squeeze tube applicator. So I'm just gonna apply this, like it says, directly to my skin. Whoa, that is way too light for me. We're gonna see if we can make this work. And I'm gonna blend it out with my BH Cosmetics foundation brush. This brush is from their Luxe Marble collection that I've raved about 100 times. It doesn't have a strong smell. It just smells makeup-y. Obviously there's no fragrance in it, so it doesn't smell like flowers or anything like that, but it certainly does have a smell. Okay, so obviously right off the bat, the shades run really, really light. This was one of the deepest light. They had fair skin tones, light skin tones, medium, and deep, and I chose one of the deepest light skin tones, which is usually what works for me. It's what I did with the e.l.f. one. and this is much lighter. So in terms of shade matching, I'd say go deeper than you think. I just went ahead and applied some to the brush instead of to my face. I think it's just easier to do that, but I wanted to follow the directions. Yeah, I definitely feel like I can smell this, especially when I'm applying around my nose. Kind of reminds me of the Wet n Wild foundation, the Photo Focus with the smell. Okay, so that is a super light layer, and I don't usually do this because I was going to do a wear test and everything on this, but I can go ahead and tell you that I do not like this foundation. I can already see around my nose, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see, I can already see around my nose, it's looking really dry, and I feel like it's sinking into my pores. It's making my oily skin look pretty dry. I would say maybe if you have really oily skin and no dry patches, this might be good for you, but on me, I think it's just aging me and not doing me any favors. So since this shade is already way too light for me, I'm gonna mix in some of my L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear foundation just to get the shade right. Obviously, I'm gonna continue to test that foundation to see if it grows on me, but first impression, I'm not a fan. Okay, I'm starting to come back to life. I don't want you guys to think I'm judging it too quickly. I just try foundations and BB creams and new makeup almost daily, and so I can tell immediately, especially with a face product, if it's something that I'm going to enjoy or something that's going to flatter my skin. Because at least on me, whatever the product looks like right when I first apply it, that's the best it's going to look all day, and you expect it to break down from there. But if it goes on in an unflattering way, then it's not a good start. All right, I'm gonna go in with some CoverGirl concealer, some Wet n Wild Photo Focus setting powder, and my e.l.f. bronzer, and I'll be back to talk about the new blush that I got. All right, next up is another product that I have already used several times, and it's actually been my everyday go-to blush. I am obsessed with this, you guys. This is the ColourPop Romance Collection. I got mine in the shade Love Story, which is like a golden peachy color. It comes with a mirror, which I love. There's a slight shimmer running through it, a slight golden shimmer, and it looks more intense than it is in the pan. It's actually not super shimmery on the cheeks. It just adds a really healthy, beautiful glow. This retails for $10, and it comes in another shade that would be really good for those of you with maybe cooler skin tones that like more of a true pink, whereas this one is pretty peachy. And you can just see how stunning of a shade this is, how beautifully it goes on. I can apply this with a really densely packed brush like this and really dig my brush in there without it applying too much product. This lasts on me all day long, it doesn't fade, and this is one of my favorite new blushes that I've tried in a really long time. All right, next up for brows, there's two new brow products by NYX. The first is this NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen. This reminds me a lot of the Milani Weekender Brow Pen. However, this is another product that I have been using and testing before this video, and I do think that they are extremely similar products, but I feel like this brow pen goes on a little bit more strongly. You can see I need to blend that out. It goes on a little bit more pigmented right when you open it, and then I find that it dries out faster when I compare it to the Milani brow pen. With the Milani brow pen, I feel like it goes on very softly even from the first stroke, and then it deposits a consistent amount of product as you're filling in your brows. It doesn't get lighter or darker, which I think is important. I do like how thin of a tip this is. Barely have to press down at all or you can deposit too much product. But like I said, it's very, very similar to the Milani one, and I just don't like it as much. I'm gonna blend with a spoolie and just finish shaping with my LA Girl brow pencil. All right, next up is the NYX The Brow Glue. I have mixed emotions on this. The first time that I used it, I hated it because I just opened it up like this and went straight in. And you can see, I don't know if you guys can see, it's like dripping. Way too much product is on the applicator in my opinion when you first pull it out. So the next time I used it, I really rubbed it off. You know, a lot of brow products claim that they're like glue and they're gonna keep your brows in place all day, but this is actual glue. This actually feels like they bottled up Elmer's glue and put it in a brow product. So you have to be really careful with how much of this you use. Otherwise it can look like you just greased your brows. But if you get the right amount of product, it really does keep everything in place. I'm just gonna brush it up Even though I rubbed it off, I feel like a little bit too much came out right here in the middle. Like I said, mixed emotions on this one because I feel like it's kind of a finicky product that you have to be careful with, or you can end up looking a little bit crazy. But if you do it right, it definitely does what it claims to do, which is keep your brows in place all day long. And the brow pen is $11. This glue is $8. So both kind of what you expect for NYX price points. Like I said, go with the Milani one over this one. This, if you really want your brows to stay in place, this will do the job. Just be careful with how much you use. All right, the next product that I'm gonna try is this e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Stick. I have not yet tried this. These retail for $5 and I got mine in the shade Magnetic Pull. It's this really pretty kind of metallic-y purple, and I find that purple really complements my eye color. Before I go in with this, I'm gonna use their bite-sized eyeshadow in Berry Bad. I'm gonna use the transition color right here because I think it'll complement this purpley eyeshadow color. Just gonna use this big eyeshadow brush from my BH Cosmetics Marble Luxe brush collection. And I really don't use these brushes on purpose all the time because I've raved about them. They're just the ones that I naturally go for. If you guys haven't seen my video on these brushes, they are just wonderful and so affordable. I'm just gonna keep it really simple today and use this and the pen, but that just gives something for me to blend this pen into. I'm just gonna draw this all over my lid and see what happens. Ooh, yeah, this is a really pretty color. It's like a gray purple. And I kind of go a little bit higher. You see where my line is right there, where my lid actually ends. I go a little bit higher than that just to make my lid appear larger. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a denser eyeshadow brush just to blend this out because it is a cream product. Just the edges. I don't want to mess with the lid too much. Blends out pretty easily. I wouldn't say these are as pigmented as, say, the liquid glitter shadow that they have, but I kind of like that because those shadows are a commitment. You got to be like committed to going full glam, whereas these remind me a lot more of the Laura Mercier Caviar sticks, which are absolutely gorgeous because they're super creamy and easy to blend. Really great for just a simple eyeshadow look that looks like it took you a lot longer than it actually did. Yeah, I really like this. I wonder if they have any, I'm gonna have to go back and see if they have any matte shades because I'm gonna have to go back and get more of these because these really do remind me of the Laura Mercier sticks. And I'm actually gonna take some of this along my lower lash line as well. Really, really nice. I'll see how these last throughout the day, but first impression, love this. I'm just gonna curl my lashes real quick and I have 2 mascaras to try. So I'm just gonna do one on each eye and see which one we like better. Okay, so the first is this new one by e.l.f. It's got the kind of plasticky bristles, which is typically what I go for. Ooh, but they're very hard. If you think about like Lash Sensational, the more rubbery brushes, they're usually pretty flexible. And so if you graze your waterline with them, it doesn't feel like you're scratching it. But with this, it feels more like straight up plastic instead of rubber. And it does kind of feel like you're scratching if you go down too far, which I like to do because I like to kind of wiggle the mascara wand at my lash line to deposit the black there and then work it up. But with this, I'm kind of avoiding that area because I feel like it's scratching it. That said, this is giving me a good bit of length. It's definitely making my lashes look a lot longer, but I don't think it's doing a whole lot for me in terms of curl or in terms of volume. So first impression of this, I probably wouldn't repurchase it, mostly because of the feeling of the wand against my lash line. Okay, and then the other mascara is this new one by Physicians Formula. This is called the Lash Mixologist. On one side it says volume, on the other side it says length. So I guess you can kind of pick which side that you want depending on what you want out of your lashes. I want both, so I'm probably gonna apply both, but I'm gonna look at their product details and see what kind of directions they have to use this. So this retails for about $13, definitely on the pricier side. So it says it's a cocktail-inspired customizable duo of 2 different formulas with 2 different brushes designed to mix and match for length, volume, and full dramatic lashes. So I think I'm gonna start with the length side. That usually means it's really just gonna lengthen. It's not gonna make your lashes look too clumpy. So I'm gonna start with that side and then use the volume side to hopefully add some volume on top of the length. Definitely a much softer brush than the e.l.f. one. And it feels like a little bit of a thicker formula, which I like. I like drier, thicker formulas because I find that they hold a curl a lot better than the really wet ones that almost weigh my eyelashes down. Okay, length side is a B- in my opinion. It's not giving me a ton of length and it's definitely not curling. It's funny because these two almost look identical. It looks like I use the same mascara on both sides. So let's hope that the volume side really amps things up. So the volume side has a brush that looks like this, which is interesting because it's the bottom of it almost is not saturated with product. So I'm gonna try and mix it up in there and get product all over the wand. It's still not coming, so I'm gonna twist it all the way back in. Interesting. Okay, so now I'm gonna apply this side. Yeah, I definitely like the volume side better, a lot better than the length side, but I almost feel like the tube is getting in the way of me applying all the way over here. Kind of need to use it like this. Okay, so that definitely gave me a lot more volume and lift than this side and this side before I applied this other side of the Physicians Formula one. So of the two, I definitely prefer the Physicians Formula one. This e.l.f. one has a little bit too wet of a formula. I feel like it's weighing down my lashes and I can't have that with my straight lashes. And I also feel like the brush is just too rough for the eye area. The Physicians Formula one, the length side is okay. The volume side, I'm definitely a lot more impressed by that side. That said, at a $13 price point, I can't say that I would recommend everyone go out and get this. I think there are better mascaras at a lower price point, including this CoverGirl Clean Lash Blast, which I've talked about many times before, but I'm actually gonna go over my lashes a little bit with this just to amp them up before I move on to lips. Yeah, okay, I thought I was being kind of hard on the mascaras there for a second, but then I went in with this and I'm like, no. This is a mascara. Okay, and then the last three products are all lip products, two of which I have been testing, so I'm gonna just talk through them, and then the third I'm gonna try here with you guys. So the first is this new e.l.f. Hydrating Core Lip Shine. I got mine in the shade Lovely, and this is lovely. It has a little heart in the very center, which is just a clear balm surrounded by a balm with pigment, and this is just a beautiful hydrating lip balm. It's a pretty sheer wash of color, but you're definitely getting some color. I will swatch this for you guys so you can see if you like this shade. It has vitamin E in it and it's just very nourishing. This color and this formula just make your lips look healthy and plump and juicy without it looking like you're trying too hard or wearing a lipstick or a gloss. I feel like this is the perfect kind of in between committing to a lipstick and wearing just a balm on your lips. It's like a happy medium between the two. So definitely love this formula and I love this color. And if I didn't mention, the new e.l.f. lipstick is $6. This next one is $11.50. This is the NYX Shine Loud Pro Pigment Lip Shine. I have mine in the shade Gold Crusher, and you're basically getting a liquid lipstick on one side. The applicator kind of reminds me of those L'Oreal liquid lipsticks that I love so much. But this formula is definitely a lot thicker than that one. This feels like a happy medium between the super thin, watery L'Oreal ones that I always rave about and a traditional liquid lipstick that's more thick and drying. This one comes out with a lot of product, so again, I wipe a lot of the product off and then go in with a very thin layer, and I find that's all you need. It does give you a good pop of color. You don't feel like you need to layer it over and over again, and it lasts a really long time. I think it's a nice formula. Was I blown away? No, not yet. But then the other side is just a gloss, and you guys, this gloss, I don't know what is different about it, but it is absolutely stunning. It just makes your lips look so juicy and full, but it doesn't feel sticky at all. And I like the combo of a color that's really gonna last on your lips and a gloss that's gonna take away any of that dryness. This color is not my favorite. I probably wouldn't choose it again. However, I think it's a really cool formula. Okay, I just had to pop out for a second. I heard my toddler yelling mama over and over again. She's with my husband right now and I just had to go give her a snuggle. She's in a big mommy phase right now, which is hard sometimes, but I don't hate it. Okay, so I just tightlined my eyes using the ColourPop cream gel liner, and now the last product that I want to talk about is this Maybelline lipstick. I got this off of Amazon, and this is another recent launch It's $6.99. It comes in 10 shades, lots of different red tones. Claims to have texture blurring gel and high impact pigment to give a saturated color and a perfect finish. And it claims to have a very matte finish. So I like the tube on this because it's small. So I feel like it's gonna be easy to work with without a liner. So I'm gonna try it without a liner first and then see if I need to go back in with one after the fact. I chose the shade More Ruby, which is $1.99. It's definitely accentuating the dry lines I have on my lips. So I am gonna use a liner real quick. This is my Age Perfect liner, just so I can control the feathering. So definitely need to clean this up a little bit, but I really like this formula. It's a extremely pigmented formula. I feel like this color is not going anywhere. When I first applied it, I did feel like it was accentuating my lines, but I didn't do any prep to wear a matte lipstick, which I usually would. I'd wear like a mask on my lips, I'd exfoliate my lips and just prepare a little bit more, which I did not do. So I think it did as well as it could on the state of my lips. So I definitely like this. I like this color. I think it's a universally flattering shade. It's not too cool, it's not too warm. So if you're looking for a really good matte, affordable red lipstick, I don't think you can go wrong with this. All right, and that is going to be it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video.